Please allow me to stand on the protocol already established. And since we're taking the floor for the first time as Sandfire, I would like to pay a special tribute to the Honourable Minister, Paholo Joy Kanawendo, who spoke yesterday, as well as other dignitaries and industry players who have spoken before me. Your presence clearly demonstrates the importance of our sector to Botswana and the wider region. I should also note that I'm joined here today by our country head, Dale Burgess, and team members from our Haberoni office. It's a really important office that we have here, and it plays a critical role in our business. Since we opened Mateo in 2023, I've had the pleasure of visiting your beautiful country many times, meeting with our team, government officials, and community members. And each time I visit, I'm struck by Botswana's impressive mining history, and I firmly believe there are many, many more chapters still to be written. I'm looking forward to once again visiting Mateo, our multi-mine copper processing complex, in July, and before I do, taking my wife and children to the cherished Okavango Delta, which I know will be a truly life-changing experience for us all. It is, of course, a great privilege to be here with you today to share a story of real success for Sandfire and Botswana. I'll provide insights into Mateo's remarkable journey from discovery to production, our commitment to sustainability and economic contribution, the exciting potential of the Kalahari Copper Belt, and Sandfire's plans for the future, which are underpinned by Botswana's celebrated democracy and stable regulatory environment. For those that aren't familiar with our story, Sandfire is based in Perth, Western Australia, and we have a proud history of discovering and developing high-quality copper assets. Today, we are the largest pure-play copper producer listed on the Australian Stock Exchange, with a market value of approximately 5 billion Australian dollars, or more than 43 billion pula. With a strategic position in two highly prospective copper belts, we are making strong progress toward our goal of being a sustainable mining copper producer and global player of significance. We're very proud to be operating in Botswana, creating local jobs for people, partnering and supporting local communities and businesses, contributing to the growth of the national economy. From construction to first concentrate, the development of Mateo was a remarkable achievement. It's often forgotten, but the project was developed during the highly disruptive COVID-19 pandemic, on time and on budget, and quickly exceeded expectations as we fast-tracked the expansion of processing capacity from the initial 3.2 to 5.2 million tonnes a year, and developed, thank you, I think Dale Burgess should take the credit for that. And of course, as part of that, we also developed a second open pit mine, which we call A4, in parallel. But it didn't end there. We're now running the operation at a 5.6 million tonne per annum rate, meaning Mateo will deliver more copper more quickly than originally planned and generate more local jobs and more economic value for Botswana. To date, we've invested more than 7.6 billion pula in Botswana, and we've done it safely, delivering consistent and predictable performance along the way. Of course, none of this would have been possible if not for the supportive environment fostered by the government of Botswana, which has created a stable investment climate for a globally focused company like Sandfire. It is no wonder that Botswana is ranked number one in Africa for its relative investment attractiveness in the Fraser Institute survey. We were honoured to host Botswana's then president at the time of Mateo's official opening, and we're working hard to support the mandate of the new government and greatly appreciate the time that the Minister of Minerals and Energy and Minister of Labour and Home Affairs have spent meeting with us more recently. This is an incredibly important symbiotic relationship that we view as a partnership more than anything else. Of course, it goes without saying that the outlook for copper will undoubtedly play a key role in our shared success. I personally remain optimistic that the copper price will be well supported in the coming decades, as new mines are taking more time to develop, are typically lower quality and more costly, whilst the larger mines that have underpinned supply in recent decades are rising up the cost curve and now require enormous amounts of capital just to stand still. And as the world electrifies, copper will remain the conductor of choice for electrons. So put simply, demand is unlikely to be our problem. And that's why we are so committed to our purpose, which is to mine copper sustainably to energise the future. And you might notice the word we, mine copper sustainably to energise the future. We is important to us, we together as an organisation, we our people, but also with our local communities. And to that end, we can't deliver on our purpose unless we do that with our greatest asset, which is our people. And nothing is more important than their health, safety and well-being. Our group total recordable injury frequency, or TRIF as we call it, is around 1.6, inclusive of Mateo's TRIF, which sits at 1. While that level of safety performance benchmarks very favourably with any of our industry peers, we believe, and we have to believe it's possible, to have a workplace that is injury-free. An inclusive culture that values diversity will help unlock that next level of safety performance, where our people feel safe to speak up and stop work when something just doesn't feel right. There are currently just over 1,700 people at Mateo, including contractors, and more than 95% are Botswana. This extends to our more senior roles, as 80% of our managers are also Botswana. What's more, just under a quarter of our workforce is female, which is above the industry average, including, I might add, in Australia. And we have opportunities to upskill through training and development. This includes opportunities for employees to travel to Australia, perhaps even Spain, where we have another operation, for skills exchange, allowing them to gain valuable experience and bring new perspectives back to Botswana. But this is not just a one-way exchange. Our Australian-based team members have also learnt a great deal from their counterparts here in Botswana. Another intrinsic element of our culture and way of working is our approach to sustainability, which is embedded in our purpose and aligns with Botswana's national priorities, extending to the preservation and protection of biodiversity, water management, and our commitment to reduce carbon emissions. We are actively engaging with Botswana Power Corporation and look forward to supporting the development of solar power generation in the Hunzi region in the near future. We also understand, that our social licence will only be as strong as the difference we make and the lasting impact we have in local communities. Our framework is focused on 4 pillars: community health, education, women's empowerment, and youth development. And we'll always do more where we can. Earlier this year, you may remember we donated 3 million pula to the Botswana Disaster Management Relief Fund to support communities affected by the severe flooding. We also partnered with local emergency response teams to assist with evacuations, provide much needed food hampers and toiletries to those in need. But we can and we must do more, and we look forward to partnering with the Government of Botswana as we seek to identify our next generation of community programs and challenge ourselves, and we really need to take this with the utmost level of seriousness, challenge ourselves to build local supply chain capacity in support of citizen economic empowerment rather than simply rely on cross-border trade. We're proud of our growing economic contribution to the Hunzi district and Botswana more broadly. To government, engage local communities, we pay taxes and royalties to government, engage local contractors and suppliers, invest in the community and create long-term employment opportunities. Last year alone, as we were ramping up operations, our economic contribution grew to 4 billion pula, with 2.1 directed toward contractors and suppliers, 1.5 billion to pay for mine properties, 226 million for employee wages and pensions, and 198 million for taxes and royalties. Longer term, we expect Mateo to deliver 38.2 billion pula into the Botswana economy over its current 10-year life. And given the incredible success of Mateo and its accelerated ramp-up, we also expect to utilise all tax losses, including upfront capital, in less than 3 years of operation. And our income tax rate is expected to exceed 30% over the life of mine. Here, you can see how we've invested more than $500 million in Botswana since 2021. This has been a major undertaking, and we look forward to the next generation of capital projects, such as the development of the A1 resource, including the significant 25-kilometre haul road that will open up the Mateo hub to the north. And of course, that's why fiscal stability and competitive fiscal terms are so important, as a meaningful amount of available free cash flow stemming from historical investment will be required to expand our footprint and sustain operations beyond the currently identified 8-year mine life of Mateo. Ongoing investment in exploration is one such priority, as the long-term future of Mateo will be secured through the drill bit. Our unrivaled geological, geophysical and geotechnical database of the Kalahari Copper Belt is a real competitive advantage, and our growing understanding of the structural controls of mineralisations means we are well placed to make the next major discovery in the province. Our confidence is reflected in our growing exploration budget, which is set to rise by 143% in this financial year to around $25 million, and it will remain elevated for the foreseeable future. That's because our ore bodies are small when considered in a global context. This necessitates consistency, capability, and hard work if we are to get lucky with our drilling program, whether that be within the Mateo hub, where new ore sources will likely fill existing processing capacity, or in the south, where a discovery could lead to the next mine development. Put simply, we remain confident that more discoveries lie beneath the Kalahari sands. So in conclusion, Mateo is unquestionably a success story for Sandfire and Botswana. The notion of shared success aligns with our values of honesty, respect, collaboration, accountability, and performance. We work hard to be a good corporate citizen wherever we operate, and we look forward to proving that to the people of Botswana in the decades to come as we do our part to diversify and grow the economy for the benefit of all. We're just getting started. Thank you.